Hi, after sitting with this last night, I decided that I'm going to begin with alcoholism because that was a predominant thing in my life and it affected me greatly. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize what they're doing to themselves or even understand that they're self medicating to avoid dealing with actual issues. So, with that said, I'm going to try to break it up into about 15 minutes per video. I don't want it to be excessively long because I'm sure you have things to do, I have things to do, but eventually, it'll all come together. So, let's start with my mom. I can only give you bits and pieces of her life prior to my existence because she didn't share a lot with me. And I feel like there were things that happened to her that she was not comfortable sharing with anyone, not even me. And I feel like that was the cause of her drinking, and she never discussed it because a lot of the times it's taboo to, hey, I need help, or hey, this is what happened, or this is what's going on, how do I fix it? It's okay to see a therapist. It's okay to talk to somebody and try to get help, try to get that out of you. Um, I go to therapy every week because I need to. I got shit wrong with me and I'm not trying to self destruct. But a lot of people don't realize that that's what it is, that you're self destructing. So when my mother began drinking, she was 14 years old from the conversations we did have. And she was going out with her mother, which this was a long time ago. It was a different time then. And she was in Puerto Rico. So she had begun drinking at a really early age and she went through her share of shit. And I feel like the more things that happened to her in her life, the more stressed out she got, and she didn't know how to deal with it because it wasn't readily available. It wasn't, oh, hey, you know what, go see a therapist, go talk to somebody. You didn't have access to that. So she dealt with it how she knew how to deal with it. She drank. Now, with that being said, we'll fast forward to about the time she met my father. Now, I think she was 15. She was in the Bronx, met my dad, and got pregnant with me. So I can only try to imagine what her life was like at 15 years old, because when I was 15, no way in hell I could have had a fucking kid. Couldn't have done it. So the amount of stresses that she had to go through had to be a lot. And I know she came from an abusive background. She had some crazy ass stories about the fucked up shit that happened to her. But she was abused, And in being abused, her relationship with my dad was fucking horrible. And he also came from an abusive background. But I didn't have a lot of conversations with my father because my father is not in my life. He was there for a little while and then kind of in and out and then fucking vanished. So I can't really speak on what happened to him and what didn't happen to him. I just know how the role he played in my life. Now, with that being said, go back to the earliest memories I have, say maybe 5 years old, with my parents. My father was running the streets when we were kids. And we had to leave the Bronx because they were going to kill him. They were going to kill us. They couldn't find him, so they were coming after us. And since that's what was happening, my mother decided, okay, no, we're going to move. So we left. And we started a life up here. So, in her starting her new life, whatever, my father came up, lived with us. Now, she was still drinking, but she was not an alcoholic. Like, she would have her beers or whatever every day. It wasn't nothing crazy. But trying to figure, she was about 21, 22 years old at the time. And I go back to recollecting when I was that age and trying to understand what she was going through and how it stressed her out and how she dealt with the stress that she was going through. So in looking at that, it was difficult, because when I was 21, I wouldn't have had the mentality to see it the way I see it now. My father was abusive. Like, I remember my mother being beat bloody. I remember car windows being busted out. I remember all of these fucking things happening to my mom in front of us. There was no filter. There was no, let's not argue. Let's not fucking talk about it. Let's not do this in front of the kids. She was fucking beaten horribly. And my mother, 4'11", she was a small ass person. Like, I'm 5 feet. So she was smaller than I am. And it was just over stupid shit. Oh, the food's not fucking warm, or this isn't right, or that's not right. Now, her coming from an abusive background, that's probably what she considered to be fucking normal. So you take that and you're like, okay, that's fine. And then there was years of that. My father went to prison at some point. And then when he got out, he fucking vanished to wherever he was, or with his next bitch. I don't fucking know. But this shit was difficult for my mom, because you have to look at it from 20 years old. You don't have a lot of life experience. You don't have a lot of knowledge about anything. You know what you know what you grew up with, and you self-medicate with alcohol. And that's what she did. She would drink because she was sad, she was depressed, she was fucking broken inside, and didn't know how to fix her brokenness. And nobody took the time to understand what the fuck was wrong, and why she would act out, and why she was fucking crazy, and why she behaved the way she did. So she went from one abusive relationship to another abusive relationship. The next one was worse than my father. He was supposed to be her savior. He ain't save her. He took her from one fucking hell into a worse hell. And even then, she's still being beat fucking bloody. And these are things that I'm watching. And the police taking us in fucking cop cars down to the station. And it's just all these fucking traumatic ass memories. As a little kid, you feel helpless. And at the same time, I'm sitting there telling my siblings, it's gonna be okay. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be okay. I don't fucking know it's gonna be okay. I just know that I needed to make them feel better. So when you're living this as a child, you think this shit's fucking normal. You don't know no better. You think this is how life is supposed to fucking be, and it's not. So my mother began drinking more. And as the years went on, she went through other relationships. And the fucking men that would get drawn to her were fucking crazy. And if they weren't crazy, then she would bring it out of them, because she had gotten to a point where she would just be so fucking angry. Like, she was just angry. So she would drink, and it would bring out the fucking devil in her. So she would sit there and taunt them and fuck with them until they didn't have any other choice in their mind but to be like, yo, cut it the fuck out. And, you don't realize this because you're a child. You don't understand what the fuck's happening. You're just like, okay, this is life. My mom's crazy. This is fucking normal. This is what my life is. So we go through shit. 4, 5 relationships, long-term relationships that she was in, that she was abused, because they didn't know how to let her go. They didn't know how to say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna walk away. And probably because they had their own shit they had to deal with. A lot of people just don't know how to deal with their shit. They don't know how to fucking heal. So I get it. I fucking get it. But it was traumatic for her. It was traumatic for us. And as time went on, the more she drank, the more she wasn't able to function, the more she wasn't able to maintain her fucking life. And it just got to the point where it was unhealthy. She was so fucking sad and so depressed that no one could help her. And even then, me growing up, I just knew that I wanted to get out of my house, because my mentality wasn't, oh, there's something wrong with my mom, she's sick. I never thought that way, because That's not really, we grow up in the fucking hood. Nobody has that fucking mentality. Nobody thinks outside the box. You just look at shit for what it is, and that's how it is. So it got to the point where her relationships had damaged her so much, her life experiences, all of the fucking things that happened, all accumulated to the point where she drank. She drank all day, all night. Like there was no ceasing. It never stopped. And it was bad. It got bad because I left. I went to the military. And then I have my siblings calling me crying, like, this is what's going on. And it's holidays and it's breaking my fucking heart because I love my brothers and sisters like they're my own fucking kids because I took care of them. I made sure they were okay. I made sure they had the shit that they needed to fucking have. So I'm like their second mother, you know. I always make sure they're good regardless of what the fuck happens. And as that's happening with them, you know, and I'm sitting there and I'm like trying to talk to her and I'm trying to be like, Mom, what's going on? And for the longest, I was kind of like a receptacle for her. You know, she would call me, she'd flip the fuck out, she'd curse me out, say wild, disrespectful shit. But I understood that she was just mad, you know, she was just sad, like it's coming from a broken place, she's drunk, she doesn't mean it. Doesn't mean that it didn't hurt me, doesn't mean that I didn't feel some type of way about it. But I knew she needed to get it out. And if I had to be that for her, then fine, I was that for her. But in my relationships, they were like, no, that's not okay. You know, you can't let her do that. You can't let her talk to you like that. Which is hard, you know, because you always grow up like, don't disrespect your parents. You know, that's your mom's. You don't disrespect her. And that was always my mindset. So it was hard for me because I'd just get off the phone and I'd cry and I'd cry and I'd cry. And I just feel like my mom became so broken, she lost control of every fucking thing. Like she was homeless. Like she was homeless. She preferred to be homeless than to live by someone else's fucking rules. Because I opened my house to her many times, but she wasn't allowed to drink. I told her very clearly, you're not allowed to drink in my house. You can be here. I love you. I have no problem. I'll get you whatever the fuck you need, but you cannot drink. And that would last for a couple days. It wasn't, you know, it was a fucking problem. Like it become an addiction. Like she couldn't help it. She had to fucking drink. And I didn't understand why. And I'm just like, but Mom, your whole fucking life is fucked up. Like, why can't you get help? Why can't you fucking just do what you're supposed to do? Because in my eyes, my mother was a strong fucking woman. My mother always had a good heart. She may have been fucking crazy as shit, but she always had a good heart. She always gave whatever the fuck she had. She would help you if she could fucking help you. And that was one of the things that I took from her. I made it a point as when I was growing up to be like, I'm not going to be like my mom. I'm not going to be an alcoholic. I'm not going to do this. So that was a deterrent for me. I wasn't really into drinking. I never did drugs. Like I wasn't into none of that because I didn't want to become her. But she was kind when she was sober. She was a very kind-hearted person. You know, she was a beautiful fucking person. It's just that these people broke her, and people don't understand how easy it is to destroy someone. I didn't understand how easy it was to become broken until I had become broken. So the alcohol, it was like a crutch, but instead of it helping her or getting her better, it made her fucking worse. To the point where she was living on the street. She was living fucking homeless. She was living in the fucking woods. She was living all types of crazy fucking ways. And I'm hearing these stories, and she ended up in fucking jail, and so much shit happened due to fucking alcohol. And you know how many times I tried to fucking help her? You know how many times I called fucking rehabs, I called facilities, I'm calling all these fucking places only for them to tell me that she has to approve getting admitted. And I'm like, she's not mentally capable of fucking doing that. She's an alcoholic. Her mental capacity is not where it needs to be. And it didn't matter what I said. There's like, well, if she doesn't want to come, then you can't force her. And that sounds crazy to me because you have to be mentally competent. To sign paperwork, to do anything, you need to be mentally competent. If you're a fucking alcoholic, you're not mentally competent. because you're not fucking there. You think about times that you've been drunk and the stupid ass shit you did while you were fucking drunk. You'd be like, yeah, no, I wish somebody was there to fucking stop me. I could have saved my mom. I could have. If these fucking laws weren't the way they are. If they weren't like, oh no, sorry, you can't do that. Why not? She has a problem. She drinks all day, every fucking day. So I know her mind is not where the fuck it needs to be. I know my mother. And I get it. People do slick shit, and I understand. They have people committed for other reasons. But that's my mother. I wanted to save her fucking life, and I couldn't save her life because these people, the laws, tell you, no, they're okay. They're fucking functioning. No, she's not. She wasn't functioning. She was fucking sick. She was very fucking sick. And I'm crying with fucking therapists. I'm crying with fucking rehabs. I'm crying with all these fucking people. And nothing. I can't do shit. I can't fucking admit her. I can't keep her fucking hostage in my house. It's just, what do you do? Your hands are tied. And it's all because of these fucking laws. You know, I laugh because they're like, oh, weed's illegal. Okay, but alcohol is fucking legal and it's fucking worse. Like, come on. So it's just the progression of alcoholism when you watch it and you watch it slowly kill somebody that you fucking love and you watch them fucking deteriorate before your fucking eyes is a horrible fucking thing. Because they don't realize that they're sick. They don't understand all the fucking symptoms that they're having and what's going on. They don't realize it. And me, I'd send her a shitload of information like, read this and these are the fucking symptoms and this is what's going on with you. And she never told us. She'd be like, oh, I'm in the hospital for this or I'm in the hospital for that. No, she's in the hospital because some guy beat the shit out of her. She's in the fucking hospital because these fucking men were fucking bitches and put their hands on this small ass fucking woman. And they're beating my mom. Fucking black and blue, fucking busted every fucking thing. Almost to the point of fucking death. Because she was an alcoholic. She had her problems. But she was also very prideful. She never wanted us to worry about her. She always, I'm good, Mom. Don't worry about it. I'm okay. No, she wasn't okay. And she's like, oh, I have bronchitis, or I have this other sickness, or whatever fucking combination of sicknesses that she would fucking conjure up. And I'm like, Mom, no, that doesn't sound right, because my studies are in the medical field. So I'm like, no, that doesn't sound right. Like, what's going on? Why are you still in the hospital? Like, what the fuck? You know, and then I get a phone call from her best friend concerned about her. And I'm just like, I know, I've tried. And it wasn't from a lack of trying. I tried all the fucking time. But they seen it. They seen her getting physically ill. Like, she started losing weight. And my mom was always healthy, you know. She's loved her food, you know, she loved her music, she loved her shit. But you could see her eyes were becoming jaundiced. She lost fucking weight to the point of, I'm just looking at my mom, because she started always had t-shirts on, long sleeves, and then I'm looking, like, one time I seen her without her shirt on, and I'm like looking at her arms and I'm looking at her body, and I'm just like, are you okay? And it was at that point when she had went to the hospital after me sending her God knows how much information, and she's like, I'm scared. She came to my house and she told me she was scared. And I never heard my mother say she was afraid of fucking anything or anyone. She didn't care. She would fight. She didn't give a fuck. So it broke my heart. And this was at the same time I was getting ready to relocate. And she's like, well, the doctor said I have a year at the most. And I'm just like, okay, you know, we have some time. So I was in the process of looking up holistic remedies, trying to find a natural way to heal her and not put more fucking poison into her body. So we're doing that. And I'm like, okay, well, we have time. You know, I didn't realize how sick she was. And the fucking doctors out here, the doctors in the hood ain't shit. They don't give a fuck about nobody. They don't give a fuck if you're dying. They don't give a fuck if you're healthy. Like, oh, you have Medicaid for fucking insurance? Yeah, we're going to push you to the side and fuck you, because we only get a portion of what the fuck we get with regular insurance. So I'm sitting there and I'm trying to understand what's going on. I'm trying to understand her symptoms and I'm trying to figure all this shit out. And I'm paying for her prescriptions and she has like 13 fucking different medications that they're giving her. And she has to go get the fluid drained out of her fucking abdomen and all this shit's going fucking on. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I think the last time I seen her, I had running around in appointments and she had her stuff to go do. So I was like, all right, mom, I'll take you to your home so the taxi could take you where you gotta go. I'm gonna go run to my appointments and I'll see you. And she's just like, okay, mommy, no problem. I'm like, all right, cool. And then the last conversation she had was with my sister, and I overheard the conversation, and she's like, no, I'm okay, I'm good, no worry about it, whatever. So I pack up, I take my trip to move. I start moving my shit. By the time I get to where I was going, my sister calls me and is like, Ma's in the hospital. We couldn't find her for 4 or 5 days. It was a few days we were calling, looking for her. Nobody knows where she is. Nobody's heard from her. And she's renting a fucking room in some fucking building, some fucking weird. And they break down the door. They find my mother laying on the floor. And I screamed. I screamed and I cried because my heart broke at that fucking moment when I got that phone call. And I'm just like, fuck. I'm like, now what? Now fucking what? So I'm gathering up all the fucking money I have. I'm cashing out my fucking savings account, my fucking everything, to fly my family, my siblings' family, to get all of us back to New York, so that we can at least say our goodbyes to her. I knew she wasn't really conscious. I knew she wasn't fully there. But it was just knowing that I wanted to see her. And then at the same time, it's like I kind of wish I didn't, because those fucking images, you never forget that shit. You never forget the asshole fucking doctors that you're dealing with, because they treat her like she ain't shit. They're like, oh, well, she's not gonna fucking live. She's not gonna fucking survive. So why the fuck you gonna resuscitate her? Resuscitate her because if it was your fucking mother, you'd want a fucking moment to have your family there to say fucking goodbye. That's why you fucking resuscitate. So, you're watching all of this shit happen and you think about your whole fucking life and everything that led up to that fucking moment and how many which ways you could have fucking prevented this shit if these fucking laws understood what these people really fucking go through. And it is a fucking sickness, the same as fucking being bipolar or fucking schizophrenic. It's a fucking sickness. So she dies and you're sad and you're like, damn, that was the longest relationship I had with anyone in my whole fucking life. This is the person that was there from the time I was fucking born through fucking everything. And it's all because of fucking alcohol that they're not here right now. All because she didn't have what she needed. It was not accessible the way it is now. And by the time it became accessible, she didn't give a fuck. She's like, let me fucking die. I don't fucking care. And I was like, I fucking care. You're my fucking mother. I want you here. It hurts me when I look at other people with their mother, with their fucking grandmothers. And I'm like, damn, I wish I had that. I wish my mom was here. I wish my grandmother was fucking here. But she also died. Alcohol. So, this is something that's very fucking serious, and a lot of people in the fucking hood medicate this way. They don't realize it. They're slowly killing themselves. They just have this sadness, this pain, these things that they don't want to face, these things they don't want to fucking deal with. So it's easier to escape by drinking or smoking bud, and I get it. I fucking get it. Believe me, I do. But please, understand this shit is serious. It has an impact on you. It has an impact on your fucking kids. It has an impact on your whole fucking family. It's not a just you problem. And if you take the time to understand why you feel the way you feel or why you need to drink, ask for help. Even if you fucking talk to somebody just please be open to them and understand that they're going through some shit. Even if they get on your fucking nerves and you can't, I know, it's a trigger in me. I have a hard time being around people that drink because the way they get, and it just triggers bad memories in me, and I have to remove myself. And that's something I need to work on. But people, like, for real, it's not shameful to get help. It's not shameful to go see a fucking therapist. It's not okay. It is okay to get help. It's okay if you're fucking sad. It's okay if you're depressed. It's fucking okay. Don't let it consume you. Don't let it consume your life or your children's fucking life. Understand, there are people that want to help. There are people that want to listen. I am here. Believe me, I am, because I understand. I live this shit. But I feel like this is something that's really heavy in more poor neighborhoods. People that can't afford insurance. People that can't afford to pay $100, $200 fucking dollars for a fucking therapist. Now they cover more for mental health, which is good. It's awesome. But they still need to change the laws on being able to admit your family into rehab, being able to admit them because they're mentally ill. I don't give a fuck what you say. They're mentally ill, a drug addict, whoever. Forcefully admit them because they're not competent enough to save themselves, so somebody else needs to intervene. But people don't fucking care. All people care about is fucking money. How can I make money off of this? Okay, we'll do the fucking 5-day outpatient bullshit. For what? What the fuck is that gonna? That don't do shit for nobody. That don't do shit for fucking nobody. So it really does take a toll on people's lives. And it took my mother. It took her. And we did the inpatient, outpatient bullshit. I got her to go a couple times. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't long enough. You think she's been drinking for fucking 20, 30 years. What the fuck is 5 days of sobriety gonna do? It ain't gonna do nothing. What the fuck is a meeting gonna do? It isn't going to do anything. It needs something that is long-term, consistent, so she understands that she can live past that. So she heals the shit that she needs to heal. And this is what needs to change. These are laws and things that need to change. And I don't know. I'm hoping that this reaches people that it needs to reach and they understand and it triggers something inside of them. But please get help. If you want to fucking talk to me, more than welcome to talk to me. I don't have Messenger because guys on here be OD with the messages and the phone calls. But I will set up an email account and attach it to it. So please, you're more than free to reach out to me. I'll probably get back on here later on. I just have a lot of running around to do right now, but I wanted to share this. Thank you. I love you all. Please know that I am here for you. If nobody else gives a fuck about you, I give a fuck about you. Okay? Thank you again.